After 4 years of owning Ghost of Tsushima, I finally got around to finishing the story of the game. During the pandemic, I bought it due to how fun it looked, and then I somehow dropped it after being distracted by a certain other game that came out in 2021, and now I still have not finished Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And I can say that it is poetic justice that I procrastinated that to finally finish the story. The Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut is released this month on PC, so while I could have played that version of the PlayStation release, I decided to boot up the PlayStation 4 disc and get to work. After all, I had rather play the Director's Cut and the Iki Island DLC once I had actually experienced the main story. Needless to say, there will be spoilers ahead. Truthfully, I cannot understand why I dropped Ghost of Tsushima all those years ago, because, let me tell you, I have spent days exploring Tsushima and battling the Mongols as Jin Sakai. It also helps that I have been playing it with the Japanese dub, because as a One Piece fan, I bloody love Kazuya Nakai as I love Roronoa Zoro, and I figured it would help me immerse myself in the story as I would not zone out during the dialogue. I have also been watching Shogun on the side, which really added to the experience, and now the game has done its job. And I just want to watch a number of Akira Kurosawa flicks. Ghost of Tsushima is one of the most beloved games of the 8th generation, and it finally seeing a PC release should be a joyous occasion for gamers. Unfortunately, its release has been somewhat overshadowed by the recent actions of Sony. Earlier this month, Sony came under fire after it announced that all Helldivers 2 players must connect a PSN account to Steam to keep playing the game. This led to the community review bombing the game and taking a stand on social media until Sony reversed this decision 2 days later. At one point, Helldivers 2 became the most negatively reviewed single-player game in Steam's history. However, it was not the victory everyone had hoped for, as Sony restricted access to Helldivers 2 in the 180 countries and regions where PSN services are not available. As of now, gamers in these countries can still not purchase the game. So for those who have not played Ghost of Tsushima, it is about a samurai, Jin Sakai, who with his uncle, Lord Shimura, battled the Mongols on Komoda Beach in 1274 in the Kamakura period. After a devastating defeat, Lord Shimura is captured, and Jin is saved by a thief, Yuna. With the two teaming up to save both his uncle and her blacksmith brother, Taka, you can travel the island to find Jin's allies. These include Sensei Ishikawa, an archer who is searching for his student, Tomo, who has teamed up with the Mongols, and Lady Adachi, whose entire clan was murdered, while her husbands and sons were slaughtered on Komoda Beach. It is these two allies who join you first, and then there is also the shady sake merchant, Kenji, whom I love dearly. Each alley leads you to a tale, which is how quests are referred to. These quests are not particularly long, and you often follow your allies to help them battle their enemies. Enemies all have different strengths and weaknesses, so learning the different stances in Jin's skill tree is essential to having an easier time of fighting them. After helping my allies on their side quests, I went to save my uncle, Lord Shimura, and hopefully with the aid of the Straw Hat Ronin, whose leader was Jin's childhood friend, Ryuzo. With Ryuzo's betrayal during the rescue of Lord Shimura, I have to admit I was stung. After all, Ryuzo had good motivations for doing everything he did, as who wouldn't want to save their starving men. When Lord Shimura returns, he is not thrilled by Jin's actions. While I played with a focus on Jin's samurai skills, I did have to use his ghost skills to assassinate enemies and ensure that everyone remained safe. Jin's focus has always been the safety of the island, while Lord Shimura has a much heavier focus on honor and facing your enemies head-on. Considering the loss on Komoda Beach, it is not a great strategy. So when we finally reached the point where we could find Khotun Khan at Lord Shimura's castle in the north, Jin had made a name for himself as the Ghost of Tsushima. Due to that, he earned more allies, such as the warrior monk, Norio, and the peasants of Yorokawa village. Truthfully, by the end of Act 2, as the game is divided into 3 acts, I was fully embracing Jin's ghost persona. Using the ghost techniques, you have access to kunai, blow darts, and bombs. I absolutely loved the blow darts, as they allowed you to either poison your enemies or cause them to hallucinate and kill each other. This was really handy when facing a large number of forces, but I did not want to be seen. By the end of the game, I was becoming a lot more stealthy. Instead of rushing and guns blazing, I just kept on sneakily killing everyone. But I still tried to maintain a good nature, as Jin is kind-hearted at his core. Everything he did was for Tsushima, making him a compelling character. Admittedly, I focused more on the open world in Act 1 and post-game. It was easier for me to liberate Tsushima without worrying about everything, and then I could look for more Inari shrines. These could only be found when looking for fox dens, and you could even pet the foxes afterwards, but only at specific locations. Let me tell you, any game that allows me to pet a fox will win without fail. In one side quest, the Mongols had killed a bunch of foxes, and I did not hesitate to kill these guys for my little fox buddies. Ghost of Tsushima is essentially about growing up. While Jin is a grown man at the beginning of the narrative, he's also still coming to terms with the death of his father, Kazumasa. His allies are his elders, and he learns that they are just as flawed as he is, and that his uncle isn't as invincible as he thought. While he is initially willing to follow Lord Shimura to his death, he learns that this will needlessly throw away lives, and he can't accept it. So the fact that Jin becomes comfortable with becoming the ghost to save his home shows his loss of innocence, and is finally maturing into the warrior he was meant to be. Now we want to hear your opinion about this game. Down in the comments, I had loved to know your experience with this game. Are you coming to it fresh as just a PC gamer? Are you somebody that also maybe had a PS4 and got your hands on it back when it released? Let me know what you are thinking. Have you been waiting? Is this your favorite game from this time period in Japan? Because there are a lot more. Now, but let me know, let's talk about anything Ghost of Tsushima down in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more gaming updates. Until next time, happy gaming.